What up? It's Snowflake, and I'm going to give you a little tutorial here on how to solve some problems in Compressor. One of my viewers, Thrillho, was watching this tutorial on how to batch export in Final Cut Pro 7. And his question was, if I have multiple sequences, how do I select them all, export them, so that they result in one clip? And my suggestion to him was, do it through Compressor. If you send everything to Compressor, it gives you the option to put them all into one clip. And this is the problem that he's having. Hey man, just ran into a bit of trouble. In Compressor, it won't let me submit the clips because the submit button is grayed out. I've heard of this problem before, but I've never seen any answer to the problem. Okay, well, I personally have never encountered it myself, but I did some research on the interwebs, and this is what I came up with. So, we're in Final Cut Pro. I've got my 3 sequences highlighted, and as I suggested, we're going to right-click on that. We're going to go Send to Compressor. We have this option here, is combine sources into one source, and I've had this selected. Now usually it's exported as separate sources, so it's 3 different clips, right? But we're going to select this one, and it's going to do it into one clip. And you can name it if you want, but I'm just going to leave it alone. And I'm going to go, okay. It's going to open up Compressor for me. Hopefully. Wait for it. Wait for it. All right, so now we got this in here. I'm going to go down here, I'm going to select a setting, you can select whatever setting you want. I'm going to do no telecine HD, drop this in here, highlight it. I'm going to go target, destination, other. And I'm going to select my export location, anywhere will do, open, make sure this is submitted, or make sure this is highlighted. Then down here is the submit button, and this is where Thrillho was having a problem. He said this was grayed out. You hit submit, for me, I have no problem, and I can hit submit, and it comes over here, and I can see that it has started to export, okay? Now, that's how it should work. If it's not working, then there's a problem. I'm going to cancel this. Now, I'll give you 4 possible solutions that I've encountered, come across on the internet that might solve it for you, and hopefully this is helpful. Number 1, you want to make sure that, 1. I hope the number 1 came up. 1. All right, so what we're going to do now is show you number 1. I'm going to stop repeating myself. Okay, great. Want to make sure you check the version number of Compressor and QMaster. Compressor exports it. QMaster can basically handle different clusters, meaning it can use different computers as different exporting machines to sort of spread the workload on different machines. Or if your processor has multiple cores, it can do to each core as its own sort of device, right? And it speeds things up on the export. This only works if you're going straight to Compressor though, so don't go and test that. You can't go from Final Cut to Compressor and do multiple cores. That won't work. Just wanted to give you a little heads up there. But you want to make sure that QMaster and Compressor have the same version. So you can do this by going to Compressor and About Compressor. I'm not going to select that button though because it will show you my code for Final Cut. Another way to do it is to go over here to the Finder and go to Applications. And we're going to go to Apple QMaster. And right here you can see this is version 3.53. Then we go to Compressor, and this is also version 3.53. So I have the same version, therefore I'm not having the problem. Okay. 2! This is the second number dose solution that I came up with. I use this software called Digital Rebellion. I am not affiliated with Digital Rebellion, but I found their software to be very useful. You open it up. Oh, that was the wrong thing. This one. You open it up, and it has all these different applications and different things that you can do to manage Final Cut Pro and the preferences and stuff like that to clean it up. If you're having crashes, it helps solve a lot of these problems. And one of them is this compressor repair. And what it does is it diagnoses and repairs the fragile links between Compressor and, again, QMaster. So if they're not communicating correctly or whatever, it can diagnose those and fix those problems. So I would try that. If you're able to get access to the software, go there, buy it, test it out. I think you can even test it out for free. And then also, and there's multiple of these out here, but I use their preference manager, and you can wipe out the preferences. And I would just try that as a solution. It might work, it might not. Just be careful when you do wipe out the preferences for Compressor. It's gonna delete any pre-saved presets that you have for exports. The only thing that will be left is the default. So just make sure that you don't do that or you're aware of it. All right, that's number 2. Number 3 solution that I came across on the interwebs. Okay, so this one is kind of a little odd, but we're going to give it a shot. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. I'm not really sure. But what I read was you go to your system preferences, and in system preferences is this sharing option. right? And you go to sharing, and you see all these different things that you can share on your network. And I went to file sharing. Mine's already on, but it said to look for this IP address, and mine's 192.168.1.9. And to remember that IP address, okay? So by remembering that IP address, going to now back in Compressor, go to Preferences. In the Preferences, what we want to do is here it says enter IP addresses or ranges for manually selected computers, and you hit this little plus button, and you type in a host name. We'll just say iMac, and I'm going to type in 192.168.1.9. Okay, and you would add host, and I could hit OK, and then apparently maybe quit Compressor, start it back up, and that should help solve the problem. Does it? I'm not really sure, but that was one of the things that I found online. Okay, and I'm going to go back in here and actually just remove this because I'm not having a problem. The last one, number 4, that I came up with in terms of potential possibilities of solving the problem here is to also go back into System Preferences and go into Apple QMaster. And in Apple QMaster, I have sharing on, right? And the reason I have sharing on is because I can use multiple clusters, whether on my own processor or across different devices on my network, to share the export workload to make it quicker. I read something that said all this guy did was share. So I'm going to hit OK and then stop sharing. I have it set up so that I can just start sharing. Boom. Then he quit out of everything, went into Compressor, and solved the problem for him. So those are the 4 things that I came across online. I hope this solves the problem. If it doesn't, let me know, and I'll do some more research and see what I can dig up, you know. But hopefully it was helpful. And if it was helpful, make sure to like the video and then comment on it. And then subscribe to my YouTube channel, because that would be awesome. And then check back later for more tutorials and tips on Final Cut Pro 7, Apple Motion, Compressor, and DV Studio Pro. Thank you